immigrants who entered into the U.S. illegally. Shan Wu is a CNN legal analyst. He joins us live now from Washington. So, Shan, I just want to start with this, the little bit of good news that we got, which is one mother, a Guatemalan lady, ended up actually suing the Trump administration and it ended up being reunited with her son. I believe it was in Baltimore, Maryland. Guys, if we have the video, let's please play it. So could we end up seeing more lawsuits like this, do you think?
Oh, I think certainly. I mean, the executive order actually, as Ryan was reporting, causes a lot of confusion. And I think one really important point that we need to understand is that much of this is focused on asylum seekers, and asylum seekers are not criminal defendants. It's a civil track of action, and the Trump administration continues to try to conflate this notion of people and their families seeking political asylum in the United States as though they were illegals who are going to be prosecuted criminally, and they're not. So right away, that just is a continuation of their wrongful conflation of this for their political ends.
And aside from, this is the video that I was just mentioning, I mean, it's so emotional just to see her really hold on to her little boy and hug him just after what they've been through. I'm curious also whether we could see a lot more lawsuits just against the Trump administration, not just from individual people who crossed into the border illegally, but also because the executive order that Donald Trump signed doesn't actually address anything at all about the families that have already been separated. Some people think that it should be revised.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're going to see lawsuits not only like this very heartbreaking situation by individuals, but also by immigration advocacy groups as well. Because what his executive order really is trying to do is to revise a settlement that was done back in 1997 of Flores versus Reno. And that settlement sets forth the conditions meant to be temporary for the detention of the children. And that raises questions of due process, what kind of procedures must be put in place for the kids. And also, of course, it raises the question of the confinement conditions, which need to be reviewed very carefully.
Right, so I don't really understand how Trump's executive order works alongside the Flores settlement. How do they work side by side?
It kind of doesn't. And what it is he's asking the Justice Department now to undergo a process by which they can revise Flores to really extend indefinitely. That's the critical point. Flores puts a limit on how long children can be detained, and what he's really asking them to do is to get an approval to modify it so the children, i.e. families, can be detained indefinitely. So that's a very controversial topic.
All right, Shan Wu, live for us there. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Good to be here.